Welcome to the Rebuilt Man podcast. I'm your host and founder, Coach Frank Rich, and we have an exciting episode on deck for you today, guys. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. Make sure to subscribe, rate, review. But we want to get into porn-induced erectile dysfunction. Now, as many of you may know, I've hosted the Superhuman Life podcast for over 6 years now. We're over 315 episodes at this point, and this has been our long-form interview-based show. And in these last 6 years, we've had the opportunity to interview and speak with some of the world's leading experts when it comes to brain health, neuroscience, addiction recovery. And one guest in general has stood out as one of our top guests and some of our highest performing episodes. And that is Dr. Trish Leigh, neuroscientist and founder of Porn Brain Reboot. So she works in the addiction recovery space, specifically using neuroscience and information technology to help guys rewire their brains from porn addiction. So the clip that we're going to share here with you is from an episode that we had Dr. Trish Leigh on the Superhuman Life. So I'll have down there below the full length episode, but this is a piece of that conversation where Dr. Trish Leigh debunks a lot of the myths around porn-induced erectile dysfunction and really dives deep into how our erectile dysfunction that's caused by porn is really a brain disorder. So many of the men that we work with are experiencing these sexual dysfunction issues. Many of the men that come to us finally wake up because they're realizing that porn is impacting their sex life and their intimacy. So we wanted to bring on one of the world's experts, dive deep into this, and we want to share that clip with you here today. Now, if you are a guy that is caught up in the struggle with porn right now and you're looking for a way out of it, we've put together a program, a curriculum, and a community of men that are committed to fighting this battle together. So if you visit school.com/reboot your life, it's linked down there in the show notes below. You can join our community for free for 1 week and decide if we are the right place for you. But let's get into this clip with Dr. Trish Leigh on porn-induced erectile dysfunction and how porn is hijacking men's brains. We love it, guys. We'll see you on the other side.
And I call it sexual arousal dysfunction, SAD, because it makes it easier to talk about. And it includes erectile dysfunction, delayed ejaculation mostly, but premature ejaculation has a different neural mechanism, but kind of I chunk it into SAD, sexual arousal dysfunction. And it's the number one thing that people who at least seek out my neuroscience-based help, it's the major motivational factor. So I realized it because all my clients had erectile dysfunction. I'm like, this is what I need to tell people because I'm on a mission to help people heal their brains and make their lives better. So there are literally millions of men who are struggling with some level of sexual arousal dysfunction, from full ED to, having difficulty being with a partner. And if they are watching porn and it's in the mix, it is a factor that needs to be dealt with. And it's likely the factor that will help them heal quickly. But that being said, then when I go, you got to quit porn, my friend, that's a whole nother, ball of wax to have to deal with because it's not that easy. So I really want people in the world to know if you're struggling with sexual arousal dysfunction with a partner, porn's at the core of it. Many of the people I work with, they're 20, 21, 22. A lot of people think a big myth is that it's age related. It's brain related. So I want people to know that.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of research and preparation for today's conversation. I stumbled across various numbers and research and data out there. I think the most common number I see is around 26% of men under the age of 40 are struggling with some form of ED. Is that number close to kind of your?
I would say 26% of men who are willing to admit it in a research study. So the number is completely different. So, that's a number that's out there, but all the people that I talk to have not told anybody, haven't told their partner. They've not told anybody. So when it comes to the work that we do, it breeds in secrecy. So people struggle for so long because they don't want to admit they have a problem and they don't know what to do to get the right help.
Yeah, I love that you put that caveat, right? The number of men that would actually be willing to acknowledge this in a research study. I think the same as just with porn use. There's different studies out there that 70% of men consume it on a monthly basis. Well, those are the ones that are going to admit it, because they're worried about their wife maybe, seeing them while they're checking that box on a research study. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Now, in the past, I do think that this was something that was age related, right? As men age, our testosterone numbers decline. You get into your 40s, you get into your 50s. I think 80s, 90s growing up, like that was what we maybe saw our fathers or maybe our grandfathers struggling with it. Today, it's like you said, it's the men in their 20s.
It's not just totally testosterone driven too. Like from my, I always bring it back to the brain, which your brain runs your body and your mind. People forget that. They lose sight of that. But as we get older, our systems get older too. Our brains get older. So what happens is a lot of times, and there's a lot of research that shows like at a cellular level, we're aging. So our brain and our cells no longer have healthy baseline arousal. And testosterone plays one piece of that. So do other hormones and neurotransmitters. But long story short, it's like as we age, our systems are getting older, our baseline arousal changes. So our baseline arousal, we'll just say it's older, and so it changes the way that then you can reach sexual arousal. It's more difficult in an aging brain, historically speaking. But now, for all intents and purposes, we can just say that like porn is prematurely aging people's brains by putting it into this dysfunctional pattern of autonomic nervous system dysfunction, changing baseline arousal. So a huge thing I want people to know is when we talk about sexual arousal dysfunction, it is a product of a dysregulated baseline arousal in your brain and your nervous system. Your baseline arousal has changed, and I can explain that a lot more.
Yeah. Let's get really nerdy here if we can on some of this, right? I think you're the you're the expert and the ideal person to have on. So at a mechanistic level, right? Kind of like from the neurology, from the physiology, what is taking place, that's leading men to having these issues?
Sure. So the easiest way to understand it, or that at least I think, and I talk about it, is that porn's known to be a supernormal stimulus. What supernormal means is that it basically produces higher levels of dopamine in the nervous system, in the brain, when it's exposed to pornography. And of course, we have to acknowledge the fact that most people are consuming porn for the first time in adolescence. So now we have an underdeveloped, a not fully developed brain being exposed to very high levels of dopamine. I call that the seeds of addiction. So they're kind of planted in adolescence. So if you water those seeds frequently, consistently, and especially with increasing levels of intensity, which this is all supported by science, then what happens is your brain basically recalibrates itself and it needs the higher levels of dopamine to feel pleasure. So the reason that happens is because of desensitization of the D2 dopamine receptors in the reward center in the midbrain. So, I liken it to donuts in your brain. Like if you've ever done a donut in your car, and, I've only done one on accident, but my best friend's son, he's in a car club where they go behind, it's like so terrible, but whatever, they go behind like different buildings at night. And some of the kids will even rent like U-Hauls and cars, and because they'll go behind the buildings and do donuts, donut. And it just fries the tread on the tires. And so then the tires are completely worn down. So if you keep going back to porn, you're basically doing donuts in the brain and you are just de-treading the dopamine receptors. So what that means is then now you go to try to be with your partner and you can't because you need very high levels of dopamine that a sexual experience with a healthy, actual human being partner can't provide. And another easy way to think about it is like porn is a level 15 on a 1 to 10 scale of mental and physical stimulation that equals high levels of dopamine. 15 on a 1 to 10 scale. So you go to be with your partner on a good day, she or he is a 9, right? Like who's a 10? And on a bad day, your partner is like a 4. So now you need level 15 and you're getting level 7. So basically you have an 8-point spread between what your brain needs to be aroused and what you have in your life. But that gap can be closed when people stop watching pornography their brain will recalibrate through the beauties of neuroplasticity to not need the high level of dopamine anymore. And then what I help people do is rewire their brains back to as close to optimal. And then when they do that, then they can enjoy healthy sexuality again from a baseline arousal of 5, in the middle of 1 to 10. If you're 1, you're depressed. If you're 5, you have calm focus. If you're 10, you're really jazzed up and excited.
Yeah, I love that. We're definitely going to get into some of the weeds and the tactics and strategies that can help kind of reset some of these baselines. I love the analogy you gave there with the tires right. I grew up in the Fast and Furious generation. That movie came out when I was originally in high school.
What do you mean? There's like 12 of them now. It's everybody's generation.
I say the Fast and Furious generation because the original one, right? The one was actually like a good movie that you want to sit down and watch. It's become so commercialized now. But anyways, I have a lot of experience behind the buildings, doing the donuts. Like we did all that stuff back in the day. I think one of the things that has enabled us to become successful is helping men reframe their pornography use as, I don't often see it as a sexual behavior. I think most of the men that I've experienced and worked with use it as a stress relief. There's a higher arousal, right? A high stimulus, something at work. Oftentimes it's financial stress because we work with a lot of high performing men, and then porn becomes the stress reliever, right? It's a lever that you pull to calm yourself down. When you think about being intimate or having sex with your wife or your partner, you're usually not doing those in moments of high stress. So once they understand that they're actually not doing it out of sexual arousal, they're doing it out of autonomic deregulation, then they're like, oh, it clicks now, right? So how does this kind of play into, the understanding or the link between the erectile dysfunction and the use of porn?
Yeah, totally. So that's the way I talk about it too. I call it mood regulation. So like you're going to porn or hypersexuality for mood regulation. Number 1, stress reduction. And this is what science shows. Number 2, which is actually quite far behind stress reduction, is boredom, offsetting boredom, which I would contend is not boredom at all. It's lack of overstimulation. Because people aren't bored at all these days. They're just not overly stimulated. So like, that's a really important distinction to make, because people are like, I'm bored. And I'll be like, are you? You're just not hyper stimulated right now. You're not on your phone watching a show, having, the ticker of the stocks over there and having 3 people talk to you. Like, we live in the generation of just massive overstimulation. So stress reduction, offset boredom, which is actually lack of overstimulation. So it's mood regulation. And sometimes people do use their partners for mood regulation. So if you're out there listening and you're like, you realize that a lot of times what partners will do is they'll try to have sex with their wife, like first thing in the morning or in the middle of the night. And like, it's not a time when you would be actually like wanting to have sex for connected, pleasure, joy, and connection. That's the happiness trifecta out of healthy dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. You realize like you're trying to get a big dopamine hit because it's Monday morning and you've got to make your way through a week. So the idea is like, if you're going to sexuality, whatever it might be, but primarily porn for mood regulation, all this stuff is logical when you think about it. If you're going to it for mood regulation, then you have dysregulated mood. Your mood is the thing that is at the core. And then to me, mood is a byproduct of brain performance patterns. And again, all proven by science. So anxiety is a dysregulated brain pattern. It's a brain that's running too hot, too fast. Stress. Feeling bored is a brain that's running too slow. You need some stimulation. So basically, porn becomes a self-medication for bringing your brain down or up or both simultaneously. So when people figure out that, yeah, they are using it in that way, then they will be inspired to leave porn behind. But again, just think about what I just said. If your brain's running too fast and it's running too slow, that's changes in baseline arousal. You're up at 10, you're down at 1 simultaneously, or you're swinging between the two. So I've started to talk about them as strained brain, where you're gassing and braking at the same time. And a lot of people can feel that in their brains, or pendulum effect. You're super stressed, then you're exhausted and overwhelmed. Then you're ramped up again, then you're beat again. You're swinging that pendulum back and forth. That is the mood dysregulation that requires something to self-soothe or self-stimulate. So if your brain's not doing that, you don't need anything to self-soothe or self-stimulate. Plus, when you bring your brain back to the middle, you now have healthy baseline arousal. You no longer have erectile dysfunction or SAD.
All right, guys, as we mentioned, if you want to check out that full conversation, I have the link down there in the show notes below to the entire episode with Dr. Trish Leigh from The Superhuman Life. But as we mentioned, guys, if you are caught up in the depths of this struggle, if you feel like you've tried everything, if 12-step program recoveries are not working, if more Bible study, if more prayer, if your small men's group is not helping you in fighting this battle, I want to invite you to join our school community. If you go to school.com/reboot your life, we have multiple curriculums. We have proven programs that have helped over 1,700 men in the last 6 years get pornography completely out of their life. And you can join us for free for 1 week to decide if we are the right place for you. There's no obligation to stay after that. So school.com/reboot your life. Click the link down there in the show notes below. But as always, guys, we appreciate your support. If you're getting value out of these, rate, review, share this episode with as many people as possible. We'll see you guys in the next one.